We're probably going to need to charge it, huh? Yeah, we're going to need essentially.
Fully.
No, just like these people.
Charger?
Yeah, I've got my charger. Also, the effing gets
I've very told them.
tell them.
I already have.
Oh, yeah.
And they're getting it.
Do you want me to yell?
No, it's fine. Yeah.
I don't have to, oh my gosh. Except for Lee. Everyone else listen except for Lee. Always bloody Lee. How exciting is to have everyone back? I'm just thinking, I can't even imagine the last time we had everyone back. So this is really, really cool. Obviously, we've had some awesome speakers through the business at different times, but what's exciting is we've got a new speaker that none of us have heard. I was lucky enough to hear Jen up at Port Douglas. It was amazing. And we also had a couple of chats since and some really good value. I think COVID and the floods, like we used to do so much stuff around wellness and personal development, but obviously with those huge things, I think the business had to take a back seat and we just had to survive. Yeah, I remember one day we couldn't even open 3 offices. So I was like, personal development, all that stuff just needs to probably sit a little bit on the window. And I think coming forward and really working with the leadership team, we've got clean-up day, so around that community. So our business was always going to be around wellness, wealth, and community, and we've probably gone a little bit to the side of late. But you're going to see, especially between now and or really forever, really push that back. And I think that's a big thing that separates us from our competitors. The culture at the moment in the business is fantastic. So I really want to thank that for the people in the group that are amongst us. We've had some amazing new people enter the business. Really, really excited having you. It's such a privilege to be up and very humbled once you look at all the faces, once you stop worrying about the wage bill. But other than that, it's awesome. So thank you so much, guys. It's funny how everyone sits in their packs, yeah? But anyway. Awesome. All right, mate. I can't wait. You did an awesome presentation. I spent a bit of time stalking you last night. You got plenty to talk about. So enjoy, mate. I'll leave you to it.
Thanks
this
so
is
much.
Jen, everyone.
But we'll bring it in. Can you hear me at the back? All right. Yeah. You know, I'll just about the lapel. 2 minutes. You said 2 minutes. 2 minutes ago. I'm all right. So, you want to come up and chat about that?
Can we? I've got a lot of therapy I need.
No, I won't use this because it's just a pain to hold on to. If you can hear me at the back to a lapel, that's fine. You mind if I take my jacket off because it's bloody hot? Can I get informal? Is that all right? Absolutely. It's just bloody hot. Like, can I take my jacket off? Hey, let me try that again. Can I take my jacket off? In a past life, Well, it's good to be here. I like energy, and there's a great energy here this morning. Dave's got a great energy. We bumped into each other in Melbourne, in the sort of near the lift when we went to the RISE conference about wellness and well-being. He said, "How you going? How you going, mate? I've been watching you. Let's do some stuff together. Yeah, we'll catch up." And I thought that was fantastic. And then in this day and age, we know people through social media, right? So the connection was so quick. It was like, okay, I don't know what this guy looks like. So I'm going to go on his social media so I can see what his head looks like. And so when I see him, I know it's Dave, because what's happened in the past, I was in a conference and I sat down next to a gentleman. He said, "How you going, Jen? We're looking forward to hearing you speak. Everything's fantastic." "Yeah, thanks, mate. Fantastic." And everyone kept coming up to him and calling him Paul. And I thought, Paul. Oh, he's director of Place Real Estate in Brisbane. I've been talking to him for 4 years, like a friend. And he's sitting next to me. I didn't even recognize him. So that was the first encounter with Dave. I forgot what he looked like. The second one was at Port Douglas. And we had a leadership business owner, top agent type of thing, which was really good. We caught up for a couple of minutes. And last night we had dinner. Long story short, energy is everything. When you got a leader with energy, that's someone you want to follow. Yeah. When you got a leader with energy, you're going to battle for that person. When you got a leader with energy who turns up for his people, you'll do anything. And I love that type of culture. So First and foremost, it's good to be here, but it's good to be involved in this type of energy today. And I hope you're going to take something away because you're going to work today, yeah? You're not going to listen to me bang on about personal development and work-life balance and, you know, motivation and all that sort of stuff. You're going to have to do some work. So hands up, I'm in. Yeah. You're not in, get out. Simple as that. Because we're working today. We've got a couple of hours together. I want change. Yeah. I want change. I want it every day. I want it now. I want it tomorrow. I want it when I sleep. I want it when I wake up, when I eat. I want change. I want it to happen all the time. Why? Because you can't stop it, so you might as well go with it. Yeah. And today we're talking about change. We're talking about change in business. We're talking about change in life. We're talking about change in relationship. We're talking about any area you want to apply change to. We are talking about it. And we're having a conversation more so. My goal is that you leave here in some way shifted and changed. Yep. You leave here with a greater sense of purpose to be a better version of yourself. You leave here with a drive to be a better parent, to maybe take care of your health more, to maybe get on that phone when you're lying to yourself and not doing what you should do. I want you to be part of change within yourself. Then in turn, that's going to infect the organisation because change is contagious. Big thanks to Dave and Taylor for a great job. Can you hear me on Zoom? Hello, all you people in your pajamas. How you going? I won't forget about you. But thanks, Taylor. Great job. Give her a round of applause. Well done. No wrinkles and she works with Dave. Look at that. You're going well.
Early days.
It's early days, isn't it? I haven't been to Port Macquarie in 25 years. 25 years. And we stopped off in some industrial thing off the highway last year and got a coffee somewhere. I thought, geez, that hasn't changed much. Then I come down here last night and went for a walk and I thought, man, this is where people used to come to die 30 years ago. That's true. They might start, I don't know if they still do that, but it doesn't look like it. Seems there's a different sort of vibe. So, there's some that come here to die still, and some that'll die and some are coming in for the growth. But that coastal walk is a gem. I went for a run. Part of speaking, you get to travel around and do a lot of fun things. And yeah, you've got a great walk there. What's to go with the coloured rocks? Just fill me in so I know. I tried to figure it out.
A lot of Ironman inspirations. A lot of people like go along with the Ironman. That's been going.
So I can go down there and rock and roll and rock if I want.
Yeah. You can find a spot there.
That's democracy. How good is that? But a beautiful place, and it's got a great energy as well. So you've landed in a great place. All right, let's get stuck into it. What I need you to do is grab your stuff, yep, all your belongings, your pads and pens. Get up, go and find somewhere to sit where you don't know anyone maybe, or you haven't sat before. Let's go. You got 30 seconds to do that.
I'm burning the first.
Hey, where we going?
Oh, wait, we haven't met.
Okay, stop. Go back to your seats. Listen to the room. Grab a seat. So what we did there was a mini change experiment. Some of you failed miserably. Some of you passed. So there's 4 types of people when it comes to change, and we just see those 4 types of people enacted in that little social experiment. It's not a quantitative experiment. We're not going to bring out a research paper about it, but it's my little experiment. I like doing it. But there are 4 types of people when it comes to change. There's the first one when I asked you to move, that went, oh God, I just sat down. It's too hard. I got to pick up my phone, get out of my seat, and go and sit somewhere else. Life is just too much sometimes. This is just too tough. I don't think I can handle this. There's that person. And then there's the second person, which is my favorite. When I told you to move, you crossed your arms and went, fuck you, bald man. I ain't fucking moving for anybody. Come and make me move. I dare you. Tattoos in your bald head. Who gives a shit about that? They give a shit. Well, shit is coming my way. out. Yeah, let's go. And you're the, I don't want to play anymore. Yeah, I don't want to play this game anymore person. Then there was the third person. The third person heard the instruction and went, woo, we get to move. We get to do something different. I might meet some new people and talk about my pet dog and the kids, and we might go on picnics together, and our partners might be able to meet and talk about cars, and then we might be able to go on holidays together, and it's just going to be a fantastic time getting to meet someone else. And you just are excited about the possibility of meeting someone or talking to someone or moving or doing something different. And then there was the last person who had already moved before I said it. Yeah, done, got it done, got this, I'm all in, done. Davey was already moved, he's gone there, I don't know where I'm going, but I've moved. He just moved to the next chair, so he was first. Done. Moved, checking in, moved, checking in, aye, this moved, checkmate, moved. 3:30 syndrome. And it's like, you just hear something, yeah, I got this. No problems whatsoever, all over it, let's go, let's do this. Those 4 responses are about how you manage change. Now I'm exaggerating, of course, right? And might not translate or correlate to real life, but how we do anything is how we do everything, as they say. Yeah? And so I want to start with that little example to challenge you about you understanding what style are you. And we fluctuate between the styles, and we're going to talk a little bit more about them. Because it's important when we come to our real estate experience or our real estate career. A lot of change in real estate. Sometimes it's happy days. Yeah, who's had great days in real estate? Put your hand up. It's like you're jumping for joy. I just sold the best property in the world. We've just got 25 leasings. Everybody's happy. Dave's leaving me alone. Everything's going really well. It's happy days, and then this happens. Who's had a day like that in real estate? Put your hand up nice and high. Let me see you. Who's had a week like that in real estate? Anyone? Who's had a couple of months? Whose total career's been like that in real estate? Where are the property managers? Put your hand up. Yeah, you. That's you. You start there and hopefully get to, yeah. It's sort of like, yeah. Well, real estate, it's flexible. You can do what you want to do when you want to do it, so to speak. You get a little bit of freedom. That's why people like real estate. You've got team leaders and directors and all that, but real estate, particularly in sales, you do your own thing. And when you're in PM, you're out rocking around. I'm sure half of you do all your private business on your way to a leasing inspection, and I'm sure you go and see your boyfriend or your girlfriend halfway on the way for a couple of drinks before you go and let someone in. I get it. So there's a lot of freedom and there's a lot of flexibility. But a lot of the time, there's a lot of anxiety, yeah? Who suffers from a little anxiety in real estate? Yeah, just worried about what's going to happen. Is it going to work? Oh, no, that client's got the shits. What's going on? And then you're dealing with family as well at the same time. Oh, it's like this, a lot of cash in real estate. Where are you sales guys? The peacocks, where are you? Put your hand up. Come on, where are you? Put your hand up. No sales guys, where are you? Put your hand up. First time they're embarrassed to be a sales guy. I don't be a sales guy today, not with this guy. But it's a vehicle of freedom, yeah? It's an option for you to change your life. I got a young guy that I coach. He's an ice addict for 8 years. He's only been clean for 6 months. He comes to me, starts training, goes, mate, I can't afford it anymore. I go, mate, I'm just going to train you for free. You get to the top, you give me some money. Everyone good about that? He goes, yeah, that's fine. Because I could see that this guy had made the biggest sacrifice of his life and turning his back on a world like that. And ice addiction's, really critically manure. And he was having a go. He's got a partner, they're getting married, they're trying to put a deposit down, all that type of stuff. But he has an opportunity to change his life. And real estate gives you that opportunity. As much as it's always changing from the highs and the lows. Who experiences the ups? Yeah, great day. Downs, I just want to neck myself. Up, great day. Down, I just kick the cat. Up, great day. Down, no, we're not having sex tonight. Who experiences that? Yes or no? Yes. That's the reality of real estate. But it's a business. And this is the stupidity of this business. I tell all my clients this. Just do the predictable things that need to be done and you'll be successful. Yeah. Just don't reinvent the wheel. Phil Harris said the biggest thing that young agents suffer from, or not young in age, young in is on the tools, is they try and reinvent the wheel. Real estate's a predictable business. There's nothing, yeah, a bit of tech, bit of marketing, you know, a bit of times market, the chat shifts, but the guts of it, just do that. Just keep doing that over and over and over again, and you will succeed in real estate. There's a predictability about it that I love. However, who has to juggle family at the same time? Yeah, who's got a family? Hands up. Who's got a partner? Who does more juggling the family than a partner? Hands up. Yeah. And we have to sort of figure out, how can I have a career that I love to do? How can I juggle a family? How can I keep healthy? How can I keep my partner happy? How can I keep my family happy? How can I keep my colleagues happy? And there's a lot of pressure on us to perform. So change is always happening in our industry. Or overwhelm. Who suffers a bit of overwhelm every now and then? Yep. Just too much. There's a lot on. You know, it is chronic in our industry. I'll talk about a few statistics in a minute. Or you meet these types of people. Who's in PM? Put your hand, you've met them, haven't you? Yeah. Yeah, just going down the meth lab to get the red. There they are. There's a couple in your business as well. Don't point at them. Don't point at them. Don't say there he is. There she is. But I always say, when you go to the PM particularly, you had a lot of faith in humanity. I'm going to do some good. I'm going to help people. And you got into real estate, you go, okay, what's wrong with humanity? Look at them. It's a lesson on humans. But that's the reality of the business. Oh, one of those weeks. Master one. Who's had one of those weeks? Come on. Who's had a month like that? Yeah, okay, you know the question. Who's had a career like that? You know? We've got a group after we finish this in the other B1. All of you who have this problem consistently come and see me. But there's a lot of change. Add to that the changing market, whatever the fuck that means, yeah? And, you know, you come to work, great opportunity, flexibility, all the stuff I just spoke about, but you come into this roller coaster of emotion and pressure and overwhelm and overextending and all that type of stuff, and a shifting market. And that's going to put pressure on vendors and pressure on buyers and inflation. There's a whole range of things. And how you respond to that change is going to determine a couple of things. Not only your success within that change, but your experience. So I'm all about experience. Yeah. Experience I'm having now, experience catching up with Dave last night, experience driving down here, experience this morning going on the coastal walk, experience at the little shack having coffee, all about experiences. Every moment is an opportunity to have an experience. Who controls the experience? I do. I control the experience. Yeah, I want to be a successful speaker and I want to have a great home, a great partnership and all that sort of stuff. But first and foremost, I want to be able to control my experience because that's all I got really at the end of the day. So managing change is about controlling experience, regardless of what type of market it is. Now, I told you you're going to work today. So on your table, you'll see some paper. Yep. You're going to choose a person, you're going to talk about what you think change is. You're going to write it in big letters on a bit of paper. You're going to have a conversation. Now, if you've got a big table, you might want to have two groups. I don't care. But just make sure you have a bit of a chatter. What is change? And if you're playing at home, grab a bit of paper and a pen, write down what is change. Put it in the chat box if you're on your phone or a computer. Taylor, water?
Yes. There's no different words for change.
About 30 seconds, guys.
No changes in all that. That says overcome. I didn't say overcome here. University. Doesn't matter if you spell it right. Just the real thing.
All right, 10 seconds. Choose a voice, choose a spokesperson on your table. Choose a spokesperson.
Let's just have
All right, inside voices to the front, guys. Okay, so we're not going to get every table to do it, but we'll get a couple of tables. So the spokesperson is going to get up and they're going to share in a big loud voice what the table came up with as what they think change is. See you guys down the back. Let's start with you. Listen up, guys. Nice and loud.
Learning from mistakes, acceptance, trying something new and adaptability.
All right, great. Give me a round of applause. Well done. Stand up, nice big boys.
We had quite a few.
Yeah, that's all right.
Exciting, different part, guaranteed, improvement, fun, inevitable, trying something new, choices, embrace.
All right, nice. This group here in the middle. I'm bored.
We had scary, adapting, evolving, growing, accepting, uncertainty, and exciting.
All right, round of applause. And the table down the back, last one.
Different, development, improving, scary, adapting, and accepting of the unknown.
Good, round of applause. Nice. Sometimes change is a friend, sometimes it's a foe. Yeah. For most people, it's a bit uncertain. Okay. And so it's interesting to hear a room full of different people, even though you work together, with a lot of different views on what change is. Some said scary, some says it's possibility. And that's how change is. What I want to try and do today is get you to bring change a little bit closer. Almost make friends with it. Yeah. So it doesn't have that sting to it. The definition of change is make someone or something different, alter or modify, replace something with something better of the same kind, substitute one for another. Now, it could be change externally, it could be change internally, it could be your behavior, potential habits, it could be adjusting to some tech, it could be some sort of prospecting tool, some PM sort of management thing. Interesting statistic over the last couple of years in particular around change. Today's average employee can absorb half as much change before becoming fatigued as they could manage in 2019. That's an alarming statistic. And our research sort of, I guess, reflects that as well. 2017, I'd been in the industry for 7 years doing mindset high performance coaching. I had a lot of clients who are business people, directors, etc., very successful operations coming to me not to help them build a bigger business, but to help them to be a better person. They got the business part right, but the life part was shit. And so I started looking within the industry around wellness and well-being and mental health and what research is being done for us in the industry, and I couldn't find anything. So I got the idea, well, let's start some research. So 2017, we started the Revive Project, the first research ever done in the real estate space. Subsequently, we've brought out 3 white papers around wellness and wellbeing since 2017. If you're interested in that, email me jet@jetxavier.com and I'll send you a copy of that. But there was nothing up until that point, and what we found over the last couple of years is that real estate employees have work-based anxiety, 47%. So you can pretty much go, yep. 58% of real estate employees say they do not have work-life balance. Now, they're calling it work-life integration now, or work-life juggle, not balance. But it's still an alarming statistic. 40% are unsatisfied with their physical health. So we're talking a third to a half, potentially, of this room. But it's not something we really talk about. 26% use alcohol to cope with stress. I think that's a misprint. 25% are burnt out in their workplace. So nearly a third are burnt out in the workplace. The Gallup poll shows us up to 80% of workforce sometimes are disengaged. So they're turning up doing a job, doing it okay, but disengaged at the same time, which is impacted by productivity, profitability, etc. 23% have no time for hobbies and no time out for themselves. 12% say they have no one to call when they feel stressed or anxious. 46% say work impacts on their personal relationships. So we can see that through our statistics over the last 5 years, that the change component of our industry has an impact on the people that are working in it. And that's something that we want to really be acutely aware of. The other thing about change is it's going really fast. Who knows what this is? Anybody? Who knows what an NFT is? Anybody? Non-fungible token. What is a non-fungible token? It's this, right? Do you know how much that was bought for? $91 million. 30,000 people have got a right to the digital original production of this piece of art on a computer somewhere in the world. It's called a non-fungible token. What the hell's going on? You're going to be doing real estate in the metaverse. Snoop Dogg just bought a mansion in the metaverse. I don't know what he's going to do with it. He's going to stand in his house in LA with goggles on, dancing in his new house in the metaverse. Anyway, I'm probably old school. I haven't caught up yet, but change is happening fast. Yeah, it is happening fast. And what happens when we don't keep up with change? What happens? We become one of these things. And what happened to them? Gone. Gone. And it's a sobering thought. Sometimes we disrespect change. We don't really see the value in it. We don't really take it seriously. Yeah, it's happening all the time and it's part of life and all that. So, but we don't acutely get aware of how impactful and how powerful change actually is. Have a look at this list. These are all the things that can happen around change, yeah? Systems, tech, values, workspace, workload, upskilling, emotional, client expectations, market crisis, health, working remote, etc. There's probably 1,000 more things that happen that are part of change. With your partner next to you, so in pairs this time, just pick out a couple that you've experienced, okay? A challenge in dealing with. It might have been upskilling for a role, might have been reaching KPIs, might have been a process in work. So just grab your partner next to you, choose a couple of these, have a quick discussion, about a minute, if that.
Yes. Maybe that.
At 20 seconds.
That's what's getting me through.
All right. So just a couple of quick shares from a couple of tables about which one of those areas you found a bit of a challenge around change at any point in time. This table here, someone here?
Expectations.
Yeah, tell me a bit more.
Probably expectations on yourself.
Yeah.
Are you good enough? Are you doing the right thing? Are you keeping everyone happy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Very good round of applause. Nice to see. Yeah. Yeah, right. And what's the challenging aspect of that change happening for you? Yeah, right. It's quite intense. Good one. Give him a round of applause. Very good. Okay, you guys in the middle there.
Technology, we've integrated
agent box last year. All the businesses being put together.
Yep.
And update data,
So honestly, sales guys who are using Agent Box, RP data, etc., when it first came in and the change started to happen, who put their hand up and be honest, who went up? No change. Yep. Yeah, just keep your hand up. Names, That's all right. So this is how it works. We've got the AA group first, right? But it's a challenge, yeah. And it's happening all the time. So who have you guys had a go, Danny? So what one did you come up with?
I've had finances.
Finances.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Just balancing just everything, like we've been trying to find investment property and
Yep.
all that sort of stuff, just trying to work that all out
Yep.
while still doing everything else. You do.
Yeah. A lot of variable changes happening around. Give them a round of applause. Very good. So we can see the changes, constant changes happening all the time. We respond to it in particular ways. Everyone sees it differently, and it's consistently within work, life, and everything else that goes on. Why do you think people find it hard to change? Just have a quick natter to the person next to you. What comes up for you? Nice quick natter. Hurry up. What do you think it is? All right, just yell a couple of things out. Sorry? Yep. Fear of? Unknown. Routine. Tell me a bit more about that. Who said that?
I did.
Hello.
It's just changing your routine.
So it's change is hard because you have to change. You're so used to doing something,
Yeah.
and then you have to turn left to do
What
something.
do they say? They say so many amount of days.
Yep, 30,
Well,
90
I
days.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying something different. 4 days, 3 seconds. Takes a couple of years. Dave taking a lifetime.
Leaving your comfort zone.
Okay, yeah, comfort zone. What else?
Time investment.
Time. Yep. So comfort zone, yep. Nice. What else? Mindset. What in particular about your mindset? Yeah, so I'll just put mindset. What was the other one?
I said flexibility.
Flexibility. Because you're not flexible, you are.
We need to be flexible.
Need to be flexible, yeah. Why don't you change that? Why don't people change? Because they're not flexible.
We're not flexible.
Correct. So I believe if you understand the core elements of why people don't change, it's a lot easier to change. And here they are. There's 3 main things. I want you to think about you. Yeah, I want you to think about stuff that you're wanting to change in your life, stuff that you struggle with, stuff that's difficult, stuff you're walking away from, stuff you're not taking on. We all have it. I have it. Everyone has it. Doesn't matter where you are. These 3 things are common denominators in why people don't change. The first one is the fear of failure and not knowing how. We live in the ducks are lined up society. Yeah, we live in a perfectionist world. We have to see that it can happen before it can happen. Otherwise, we won't go near it. Otherwise, and even when we do know it, according to our self-doubt, we mightn't even still do it because we don't believe in ourselves. But at the basic level, there's a fear of us failing and not knowing how to do something and being laughed at. There's an interesting study of 500,000 salespeople across the world around core reluctance. And they wanted to know why salespeople had core reluctance. Can anyone tell me what the main thing was that they found in research? Fear of rejection, yeah, close. It's a part of it, I'll explain. Yeah, what else? What do you think they found? Why people are core reluctant? Sorry? Not sure what to say, yeah? Around that? Unknown response. The number one thing why people have core reluctance is because they don't want to put themselves out there to be judged, which is part of potential rejection. Yeah? They don't want to go, they don't want to put themselves anywhere where they're going to be judged, looked at in possibly a particular way. The second thing around why people don't change is that unknown and uncertainty, the loss of control. I was at the airport, and you know the machines where you tag your bag now, those machines. There's an older lady, I'm 57, so she must have been 70, I reckon. And she goes, where do I check in? I go, you check in here. She goes, where? There's no counter. I said, see those little R2D2 things? There. She goes, where? I go, oh, this is going to be a long conversation. I walked up, I said, this thing here. You got to press this, and it's all good. She goes, oh, I didn't have that in my day. And you could see she was visibly getting upset because the unknown and uncertainty around the change was having a physical impact on her. So I took her over and I showed her how to do it. I didn't do a good job and stuff. I was like, go see that lady over there. She goes, I could have done that in the first place. Calm down, Jack, calm down. Yes, you could have. But you didn't. Did you? No. Anyway, the funny thing out of the whole thing was not only could you see that she was visibly upset and she was dealing with, you know, this ability to manage change effectively, I look back to when these machines first come out. So I rocked up to the airport. I walked in like a rock star with my green thing, you know. I'm here, guys, here on cameras. And I walked up to the desk and I'm going, I'm just checking in, you know, blah, blah, blah. Oh, just go over there to that machine and print your stuff out. Well, so what? I like you doing it for me. Now we've got a new system in, and she went through the spiel, and now it's going to be like this forever. And everything inside went, no! I was just like, I was freaking out. Like, I don't know how I'm going to use this. I'm losing control here. Funny thing was, when that old lady, so this is like a year later, when the old lady was there going through her thing, I'm like, geez, I'm glad it changed. I'm glad that it's like it is now. So easy. You rock in, there's no lines, you go bang, and away you go. The unknown and uncertainty are really big when it comes to people not changing. Again, I want you to try and reflect on where you're at in life, business, and everything. And the last one's effort required, yeah, in the comfort zone. Who's tried to get healthy before? And when that buzzer's gone off at 4:30, go on. Turn it off, put your hand up. Yeah. Who's tried not eating chocolate at night, watching telly before? Who's failed miserably? Yeah. Who's got another package that's landed on the front doorstep? Your partner's going, what's this thing from Amazon? You know, change requires effort. Yeah. If we all put in the effort to change, I mean, our lives would be even more remarkable than they are. Our roles, our business, everything would be a lot more streamlined, a lot more easier. But it's not, because we've got this hardwiring that says, hang on, I'm not seeing anything happening, so it's not worth the change. I think someone mentioned it before around time. Yeah? It's taking too long, I can't do it. And when delaying gratification is what you really need to be able to bring the change in. So there are three really core things that you can apply when you struggle with change. You can ask yourself, hang on a second, what am I fearing failing about? What do I need to know that I don't? And what am I worried about? What am I uncertain about? Where do I feel like I'm losing control? And what effort's required? And what do I need to do to change? So I said at the start, we're going to do some work. I want you now individually. So I've gone from groups down to partners, now down to individually. I want you to think about you. Yeah? Think about your work, think about life, think about your mindset, think about your family, think about every aspect of your life and what needs to change for you, or what do you want to change. It might be health at the moment. It might be a prospecting, it might be a leadership. You might have a bit of a critical nature at the moment about things. There might be habits that don't serve you. You might be as productive as you want. You might be being a partner in your relationship. You might be good at being a good parent. You might be managing your stress. There's something. And if there's not, there should be, because it's happening anyway, whether you like it or not. The whole idea is to take control of it. So you're going to do a bit of work for about 5 minutes only, okay? And you're going to double down on your life, where you're at right now, and what you're going through, and what you need to change or want to change or are trying to change. Are we all on the same page?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's go. From Thinking Music, anyone? So if you're still listening at home on the Zoom, guys, the exercise is bit of paper. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's health, prospecting, finances, relationships, energy, work-life balance. What are you trying to change? What are you trying to work on? What are you struggling with around changing?
How many have you got on Zoom, Taylor?
Hey,
How many have you got?
on here?
Not just the one screen. You need to have a look at whether we stream it properly. Let's have a chat whether we stream it properly. And all the rivers is getting the slides and getting everything.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah. He's got all that.
Yeah, but just saying, you can actually stream it properly.
Says a lot about him. I don't have energy.
I can tell you do.
Go on.
how they go? How they go?
Oh, good.
Here we go. How do I speak to roads?
They can hear you.
About 2 minutes, guys.
You just tell
Hi
me.
guys,
Hello, Broads.
how you doing, buddy?
How are you, mate? How are you getting a bit out of today?
Yeah, no, it's good, mate. I've got the girls in Bones' office here now. My camera's not working for some reason, but yeah, me, Harry, Sid, Megan are here.
You and Harry there? Beautiful. Alita, who you got there, buddy? Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, you got the whole gang there. Alita, how are you going to casino?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. It's myself in here, Zell's in here, Katie, Narelle, and Trent's at home, and the other guys are at home as well.
Bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I see Petra might be in the office watching on. Heathy, where are you, buddy?
How are you going with the exercises, guys?
Yeah, they're doing the work.
Good. Doing the work?
You there, Heathy?
It's South Rocks in the background.
All right. See you guys.
All right. How do we go?
I was down for the back.
All right, cool. So Dave and I were talking last night over dinner about personal development, about a commitment to it, how important it is, and you know how great we were at it, and also how terrible we were at it, and where's the gap and what we need to improve. And I won't go into the details, but as a good leader he is, I get a text as soon as I get to my room. He goes, I'm on to, we're talking about some stuff. He goes, I'm on to it straight away. Bang. Yeah. This is your opportunity to get on to it straight away. Bang. Yeah. Because I know, I categorically, if I sat down individually with each of you privately, there'd be shit going on in your world that you don't talk about, and you don't need to, right? but that you're potentially struggling with and you want to be different and you want to change. We know it from our research. I know it from 10 years in this business, face to face with people, you know, that their lives are just falling apart in front of them. One in particular runs a business, 40 staff, 20 years just committed to the business. 20 years of saying yes. 20 years, how can I help? 20 years, I'm here for you. 20 years, I'll do that. 20 years, give it to me. 20 years, I can't trust you, so let me go with it. 20 years of that, 2 kids, wife, how do you think that's going? Not good. Not good at all. So now he's got to come, he's got to reverse back and not only repair the relationship and the marriage and the kids, he's got to repair himself. He's got to take a step. He's got to draw a line in the sand. He's got to get clear about what it is for him. And not all changes like that, but most is. Most leaves us with a sense of, oh, I wish it was different. So I know that we've got to really knuckle down at some point and go, okay, hang on, I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to do something about it. So who's brave at the moment to put their hand up and share what they're working on or what they're going to want to change or what they're changing or what they're struggling with at the moment? You don't have to, but we're all a team here, yeah? What is it?
Just work-life balance at the
Yep.
moment. So changing careers and managing 2 jobs and trying to push hard with the new one and still work well with the old one. So the work-life balance is pretty tricky with a wife and 2 kids.
Yeah, right.
But yeah,
Have you just got in the industry?
yeah.
As in sales, PM, what?
In finance. Yeah.
Finance, okay. So yeah, so you got a lot of pressure to achieve and get ahead and build it right and do all that stuff. And go, do it, win, you know. And that's what we do. That's the game we play. I'm all about let's play it the right way so it doesn't impact the things that we love the most.
I've got a question for you.
Yes, mate.
Why often do people have to hit rock bottom before they change?
It's a great question. When you hit rock bottom, why do you hit rock bottom before you change?
Don't get all the way there. I usually have a stop.
You're one of the guys that get halfway down the cliff and it's a bigger operation to get you out, isn't it? It's like, oh man, you should have just fell to the bottom. Now we can just pick you up and take you away, but now you have to get stuck halfway. We've got to get choppers in and lights and the Coast Guard and special people absolutely down the thing. Get down there, you go down, right?
I'm up the top.
Yeah, he's up the top. Mate, it's funny that you say that because I do videos on Insta all the time, and one of them that I'm trying to curate last week was exactly that question. Because I hit rock bottom, and in the past it was only when I hit rock bottom. I don't know if it's a genetic DNA gene in us that causes that. I don't know if we're just dumb as fuck. I'm bleeding. My nose is fish. Let my teeth out. You better stop. No, I like this. I'm leaning more towards the dumb as fuck myself than a genetic disposition to retardedness, you know, as an adult. Anyway, we can circle back to that. But yeah, you're in that space where you're going to do one or two things. You're going to stop and you're going to go, okay, here's the change upon me. How can I manage this in a model that I want to work for me? Or you're going to get sucked up in the stereotypical model of real estate, and that is yes. See, the thing in real estate is what my experience working with leaders in the whole, let's call it that, is they've worked a model built on male, particularly male, I'm not excluding women here, but particularly male stereotypes around providing, protecting, and power. Yeah. And that's sold them a lie around building success. When what we want to do is we want to work out what's a model that can create great success with less impact. And you're at that sort of junction. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Someone else. Very good share. Up the back, yes.
It's funny, I wrote these things down as soon as I looked at what I've written. So one thing was health and self-care, stress management, work-life balance, and focus. And straight away, I know what I do. Someone actually said to me, if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always done. And I do make the same mistakes over and over. And then I feel like I do too much of myself to everybody else before I do what I need to do.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
there's a big
The funny thing is, knowing that doesn't change anything. Yeah, no, hopefully the next half hour it's going to change. Couple more. Thanks for sharing and being brave. Someone else. Yeah.
At the moment, for me, it's probably reactiveness and pressure.
Okay.
Got a reasonably big goal to achieve. Need to stay on track and not react too much to what's going on.
So that goal, the change that's happening within that, you're being reactive around it. That's creating a struggle. Yeah.
It's very big training. So get on track and get shooting so we're not progressing enough.
Yeah. I like it. All right, one more. Yeah.
So my kids have now moved out. So it's, they're at home, Darby and Joan. And it's, but it's now we're at a point in our life where we need to get our finances sorted for the rest of our life so that we can enjoy life.
Yeah.
We've probably been not good in finances throughout life.
Yep.
And now we're at a point where you can see the end.
Yeah.
So we need
You
to
see the end.
Do you know?
Hang on. You were saying, sorry.
But it's being smart now and,
Yeah.
and actually going, you know what, you need to knuckle down.
Yeah.
Yes, you've made mistakes.
Yeah.
Learn from those mistakes and move forward.
And you're struggling at all with that shift, that transition.
Was not,
Yeah.
not at the moment. We just put our shit together one.
Yeah.
And I think it's taken 50 years.
Yeah.
Why did it take 50 years?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you can see what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
But in all those years.
It's a great question.
What starts?
It's a great question. We're going to talk about it. Yeah, bloody kids. Yeah, it's a great question. You're one of the kids. It's your fault. No, but it's a great question. Why didn't it change? Why didn't you manage the change that was required back then? And I'm going to show you why. And then you're going to be able to apply that to whatever it is that you're struggling with the change. You're going to apply that to changing anything that you want to change as well. Thanks for sharing, guys. Another question. You've been really interactive. I really appreciate that. It's been a good energy. What do you think is the biggest thing that stops us managing change effectively? We talked about why don't people change? Fear, unknown, effort required. But what do you think the real key thing is?
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, no.
Mindset.
Sorry?
Mindset.
Mindset, no?
Habits.
All close, yeah.
No one's keeping you accountable.
Yeah. Key word in there somewhere.
Not having the right tools.
Tools, yeah. Huh?
Don't know how.
Don't know how, yeah.
I don't think I'll schedule it in.
Don't schedule it, yeah. What's the common denominator of all of those things?
Accountability.
Say it again.
Us.
Us. You. You're the idiot. You know why? You. Not you. It's your fault. It's you. Me. Us. That's the biggest thing that stops us. That's why we get stuck. What was your name, sorry? Leah. So Leah gets stuck in this relentless loop. You're a smart person, Leah. I'm sure you figured it out, but you just can't get out. You know? Join the club. This is the can't get out club. President over there. Do I hear in advance on 50 years of fucking wasting my life? Anybody else? Anybody else? 51, give me, come on. 50, 65. Oh, hey. I fucked it up.com. That's our first meeting. It all started in Port Macquarie. It's you. But you know what? We don't want to have that conversation. It's too hard to have. Because what do you think has to happen if we have that conversation? Yeah, we have to do something. We have to do something. We're put in a position where we're going to look stupid, feel bad, or we're going to progress forward. So it's easier to stay in the loop. Yeah, I know what to do, but I don't do it. I know it's a struggle, but I don't find a way out. I know it's unknown and fear, but I don't try and work my way around that. And we just get stuck there. It's easier to do that than to go, hang on a second, let me have a conversation with myself. You know, I shared this at the leaders retreat. 2017 was a pivotal year for me as a human, as a person. I was sitting on my balcony overlooking the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House and Centrepoint Tower. The sun was setting. I was in my unit that I was renting in Potts Point in King's Cross in Sydney. I had a Corona in my hand. I'm looking, I'm going, man, you're the bee's knees. You're the boss. Right? Having a bit of an ego moment. And then it just dawned on me. I was ignoring the fact that I had a binge drinking problem. I was knocking back vodkas at 11 o'clock in the morning. There's a sign there. I was in massive debt because I thought money came in, you just spent it, because more money came in, you just spent it. Look at that disease, comes in, spend, comes in, spend. How good's that system? I just kept it, but I had nothing to show for it. I was in a 9-year beautiful relationship with one of the most beautiful humans on the planet, but I wasn't showing up. We were happy, we traveled, we did everything we wanted to do together. We got on great, we never argued, all that sort of stuff, but I wasn't turning up. My kids weren't talking to me because I was a shit dad. I was 17 kilos overweight. I was 52 years old at the time. My business was going good. Some money was coming in, but I wasn't being a superstar. I wasn't serving. I didn't have the right intention. It was all about me. And I sat there on that balcony and I thought, fuck, this isn't authentic. Something has to change. And I had the conversation for what I think was the first time in my life anyway, that I was honest with myself. So, man, you're just in the wilderness. You're meandering through life thinking you're going somewhere, but you're going nowhere really fast. And so I had that conversation with myself that I think some of you need to have, and that I hope you'll start to have from today. And I thought, I have to change. And I went through all the things I have to change. I went through the fears of not changing. I'm a coach. I coached myself almost. So what I did was I drew a line in the sand, had the conversation. I sold everything that I owned. I said, that's it. I'm selling everything that I own. A Harley, a car, all the lifestyle stuff, gone, or gave it away. I said, I'm not turning up to this relationship, so I'm going to break it. And I tried to break it. We tried to break it for 3 or 4 years, but we didn't have the guts to because we were so needy and codependent and we were so stuck on each other. But I said, I've got to break that. I remember hugging her at a railway station, tears pouring out my eyes, and we said goodbye to each other. It was like a bloody Hollywood movie. Bad ending, but I said to my kids, hey, I've been a shit dad. Can we sort of start to talk? I went to a financial planner, got my finances in order. I went to AA, got diagnosed with ADHD, got diagnosed with depression, alcoholism, and I started to get in the game and started to do something about it. I moved to the Gold Coast into a unit I hadn't seen. I said, I'm getting out of here. I'm just cutting ties with everything, and I'm going. 4-wheel drive that I hired, 2 guitars, computer, a couple of bags of clothes, and off I went. Started getting into the gym, lost 17 kilos. Over the last 5 years, my life has transformed because I keep having those conversations. Not because I'm any smarter or better or know more than you. We're all in the same boat here. But I hid away from that conversation for years. I didn't want to face it. And then that afternoon, for some reason, for whatever reason, I don't know, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I just turned the world upside down and changed. And just bought a house for fuck's sake. I'm 57. Like, I can't believe it. Yeah, clap. Yeah. You know, I love myself. What do you want me to hate myself? Which one? Like, I love myself. Like, I finally love myself. Like, you say that, people think you're up yourself. No, you're not. You should say it more. But I had the conversation. And the last 5 years has been the best in my life. Got a great partner. I'm fit and healthy. My money's not getting pissed up against the wall now. The kids are half talking to me. That's a challenge. There's a challenge for change. And I'm just in a space where I'm taking responsibility for the change. And I'm applying what I'm trying to teach. So the way we get through this is this. Remember at the start, we had 4 people with 4 different responses. Yeah. We go in between all of them, but we're pretty dominant in 1 or 2. And I want you to sort of try to see yourself where you are. So the first one is this runner. Yeah. The runner's always too hard. Think about things you've tried to do. Leah, was it? Leah, you've been a runner sometimes. Yeah. You've run from the responsibility. What's your name? Lisa, you've been a runner as well. Even Dave's been a runner. People look at him as a successful person.
Yeah.
You know, too hard. A runner is a person that denies. I don't know if you have, but has anyone been in a relationship or knows someone that's been in a relationship that hasn't been good for them, but they've stayed? Yeah. So you got to get out of there. He's shit. You got to get out. He's a maniac. You got to get out. It's always him. Never her. You got to get out of there. She's crazy. Nah, she's not. But you know the scenario. And it escalates to extremely abusive relationships. And the woman in particular, it's women, they feel that they can't leave because he's not that bad. Yeah. It'll get better. We got kids. We're married. We made a promise. Yeah. Can you see what's happening? Denying. And I'm not saying that's I'm not blaming them for doing it. I'm not in that world. But that's the response. Or let's look at something easy as health. We've made promises, New Year's Eve. That's the last 44 beers a night I'm having. Ever. Johnny rings you tomorrow. I'm going out on the boat. Hey, Greg, what are you doing? You coming with us? Yeah.
He's a good judge.
Yeah, right, mate. All right. But I'm not drinking. Okay. Out of the boat. Everyone's had 15 parked. All right. Now give me one. The next minute's 44. And you deny what you're supposed to be doing. What about work? Has anyone been a runner at work? It's got too hard. Yep. Can you show me what the
I just call myself a gypsy, that over the years it got hard, so I leave town, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Same shit, different postcode.
Same shit, different postcode. I like that. That's got a bit of a ring to it. We can use that somewhere. Same shit, different postcode. What's Port Macquarie's postcode? Just don't use that one. So everyone can sort of relate to the runner, yeah? It's too hard. I want you to think about the stuff that you wrote down and sort of apply it to where you are in these quadrants as well. So that's where we get stuck. Or the settler. Yep. The settler. Yeah, not playing anymore. Not my problem. Who's had that at work? Who's experienced people at work where we're doing this together? Yeah. Something goes wrong. Not my problem. Photocopy up. Do you still use photocopiers? Printer. Not my problem. Don't want to deal with it. Settler, not playing anymore. Or if you're arguing with your partner, some people lean in arguments, some people run away. I had enough. That's it. Which one are you? Some people isolate themselves. Some people want to be, try and fix it or be confrontational and lean into it. Different ways of managing the change. But that's all about resistance. The lady at the airport and me, we had a level of resistance to that change. It's like, I got to press the button and I got to put the tag on and like a big baby carrying on. But after a while, I love getting to the airport. I can't wait. I'm like speed dial. Like I wait till someone pulls up to the next one. So go. Done. See you later, sucker. I'm gonna try 2 next time. The World Championships. But a lot of our change, we get in resistant mode. Yeah. We just push it away rather than bringing it close for all the reasons that we talked about. And the third place, so we've got this side, denying and resisting. Over this side, we've got the climber. The climber is about what's possible. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen this doco called Free Solo. Anyone seen it? If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's about Alex Honnold. That rock face is 3,000 meters high. It's called El Capitan in Yosemite National Park in America. That's Alex Honnold climbing it with no ropes, nothing except his hands and his feet and the rest of his body. That's called a free solo climb. Yeah. Now, he didn't just rock up to it and do it. He rocked up to it and said, what's possible? Yeah. He did it a couple of times with ropes, with all the safety things, because he had to memorize over 1,000 different finger movements and thumb movements and foot movements, toe movements, heel movements. He had to memorize all that. So he did it about 40 times before he did it free solo. But he moved over into this side around exploring. Yep. And he's given sports, there's consistent challenges, and those require consistent change. Some peak and go, that's it, as far as I'm going. People like him go a lot further than normal humans. But he asked that question, what's possible? And if there's anything that I want you to burn into your psyche right now, it's what's possible. So I just want you to say it quietly to yourself. I want you to hear it in your head. Can't hear it, just a touch now. You're going to say it. Because I want you to anchor that for future reference. Okay? Because you're going to come up against challenges around change, the things you've talked about. You're not walking out of here for an easy ride. It's going to get more harder. It's going to get more challenging. You know why? Because you're having the conversation with yourself. But I want you to remember what's possible. Because over here, nothing is possible. Yep. Over here, things start to change. Climbers, they explore. Took a group of people to base camp Mount Everest. It's a great trip. And it was all about what's possible. Because people died just climbing the base camp. Not only Everest, they climbed just going to base camp. But it was always about what's possible and let's explore the options rather than it's too hard and can't be done. And the last one in the quadrant of change modeling is the implementer. Yeah. And the implementer is I'm all in. Yeah. They bypass this and they go, let's do it. Now, it mightn't have to be done and it mightn't be the outcome you want to do and you mightn't pursue it in the end, but that's the attitude around change that they have. I got this. And we call them the actionator. Yeah? Who are the actionators in the room? You got any? You're all actionators. Put your hand up. Come on. All of you are actionators. See, the thing is, we get stuck over here and we live out of there. And we never come out sometimes, 50 years, yeah? You're denying things, you're resisting things, you're denying things, you're resisting things. Sometimes you got over here and go, oh, what if we did this? Oh, that'd be great. And it was good for a couple of days and then it finished. Leah, you're probably the same, denying and resisting, and sometimes explore. And sometimes you might have even got up to commitment and implementing and it didn't last, yeah? Then you come back to this, why? Because this was normal. This is society. You're different. The thing I love about the real estate industry is you turn up. No, Dave's not handing out rentals at the door and listings at the door, are you, man? Who's got to do it? You got to turn up. That's what I love about the industry, because you're all really born to live in here. Make sense? So where do you see yourself at the moment? And if you're here, how do you get out? And if you're over here, how do you accelerate that result? Do you want to know that? Yeah. Yeah? All right. You're like Larry Ebner on one of those shows. You want to know what? It's a new car. All right. So on this side here, critical, blame, doubt, uncertainty, fear, unknown, problem, post, anger, frustration. So I want you to burn this into your psyche. When you're challenging or struggling with the things that need to change, talk to yourself, have the conversation. Identify where you are, relate to it, live in here, experience what it feels like, okay? But when you're over here, you're solution, success, freedom, success, acceptance. Put yourself over here, visualize over here, take a step over here. Ask that one question. What's possible? That one question neurologically takes you from the fear center in your brain, the amygdala, to your prefrontal cortex. When you're in the fear center in your brain, you're over here and all those things are happening and your brain goes, okay, this is where we're at. This is what we do. This is how we'll operate. When you ask a question such as what's possible or what's the best thing I should do now or what's the right way to go or what would be a thing that would honor me right now, when you ask questions like that, your neurons change and they fire up to put you over to here. And it gives you half a chance to get through the change you need to more effectively than you would any other time. So There are 4 things that I want you to write down now, and I want you to start doing as a way to get more over into this side around the change that you're dealing with. So for the runners, too hard, and the ones that are in denial, I want you to start to think about ownership. Yep. Just make a couple of notes around the thing that you want to change or you're struggling with, and just ask yourself, where do I need to take more ownership? Just spend about 30 seconds just contemplating that question. With the issue that I'm facing, we've looked at that already. What needs to change for you? What are you struggling with? What do you want to be different? We've gone through that process. Now we're looking at a practical way to get through it and etch it into your mind for change. What are you not taking ownership in? What do you need to take ownership in? Get clear about that. Because as you get clear about that, you're building up the bank of confidence in this side. Yeah. If you're not clear about that, you're just defaulting to what this side is doing. Just denial, resistance. I've done that all my life. I just keep doing it. It's easy. And the brain loves easy stuff. But when you start challenging and going, hang on a second, what's possible? Where do I need to take ownership? You start to shift. And this flow is what we're trying to look for. We're trying to get out of denial, out of resistance, into exploring, climbing what's possible, and up into implementation and becoming an actionator. You know, how do you guys, did you get the floods in this area in particular?
2 years ago here.
Right. It's every news reel that I saw of the floods that have happened recently a few months ago. Anytime they interview someone, they got the bare bones of clothes on them. The house is underwater. Someone's sitting on the roof with the dog. What are you going to do now? The interviewer says, we'll just fix it up and make it work. We just got to get the mud crew in here and get it cleaned up. And this is the 4th time it's happened. And, you know, the government's doing this and that, but that's not interesting to us right now. We just got to get onto the job. We're taking ownership. Yeah. If anyone can take ownership, Aussies can take ownership. Ownership is just a decision that you make. Yeah. That's all it is. It's a decision. You might get the first time, might be harder the second, but you keep making the decisions, it gets you closer. Any settlers in the room? Flow. When you're in resistance, the opposite to that is what? It's flow. Bruce Lee said, be like water. No mind, no spirit. Put water in a cup. It's a cup of water now. Put water on the floor, it's a puddle. Water comes out of the sky, it becomes rain. Whatever it wants to become, it becomes. It just flows. When you're resistant, you're in this side of the quadrant. When you flow, you let go of that resistance and you move across here to what's possible. Not a total guarantee, but at least a better start. Real estate is a business of fight, not flow. You wake up in the morning and you're already like this. You go to work today? I'm not tense. What's wrong with your neck then? Oh, I don't know. There's a tension that comes in the real estate industry that's just a byproduct of the energy that's in there. Salespeople, you got to make it real every month, or else you can, go under. Property management, you're dealing with people's expectations all the time. There's this tension, and you wake up in the tension. You go to sleep in the tension, and it's continually tension. How does that go for you when you're trying to bring change into your life or your role or your partner, etc.? Be like water. When you feel yourself being resistant to that change, just be like water. The Buddhists say all suffering comes from attachment. All suffering comes from attachment. You want something to happen here, and it's not happening, so you resist what needs to happen to make it happen. You're stuck on an outcome. Let go of the outcome. Let go of the outcome. I did a 10-day Buddhist meditation retreat, no talking for 10 days, 10 hours of meditation a day. Yeah, look, she's going to go. This guy was quiet. How did he do that? Wow. He hasn't shut up since he started. When we're doing our group stuff, he's still talking. But it taught me the power of letting go. I got a call. Well, I didn't get the call. I got a tap on the shoulder. On the 9th day, deep meditation tap. Whoa, what's going on? I hadn't talked for 9 days. Total meditation state. What's going on? Freddie goes on the phone. Go on the phone. So-and-so's just trying to kill himself. went to the Buddha, the priest guy said, this is what's happening. I'm just like, poor, I just didn't know what to do. He goes, as it is, not as you want it to be. So what the fuck? What do you mean? And that hit me. I can't control the uncontrollable. I'm resisting, I can't control it. Let it go. Person was okay in the end, but it taught me a valuable lesson. I feel resistant when change is coming. I'm resistant to it. I know it's not going to be a good day. It's not going to be a good day. But when I take that breath, I let go, and I go as it is, not as I want it to be, and I try and get into a flow state. It's always a better day, and it pushes me over here. The sum game of change, my friends, is to live from here. Yeah. You get challenged, what's possible? Yeah. Something happens in your world that's not good, what's possible? Your boyfriend leaves you, what's possible? Business isn't going, what's possible? You're not keeping the promises you gave to yourself, what's possible? Stay in this energy. So for you, where do you need to let go? The things you're dealing with, you wrote down. Where do you need to let go? And stop resisting. What areas? Spend about 30 seconds on that. Just make a couple of notes. Just to keep the people that need to put something down, put it down. Okay, climber. Climber's about solutions, yeah? Netflix came up with a solution of streaming then rather than selling videos. And like Blockbuster did. Blockbuster were coming to the end. Streaming was becoming the big thing. Netflix went, let's do this. Everyone said it's not going to work. They were finding solutions. Blockbuster went gone, and Netflix went on to build a massive organization. However, they're now getting challenged, and they've got massive change coming through, and they might have to have a pay service, and there's a whole range of things. So it's going to be interesting to see how they apply what they did in the Blockbuster days to now. I'm excited to watch that because they're an organization that says, okay, how do we get into flow? How do we take ownership? And how can we get a solution to this problem? AIA Insurance, we're in some financial challenges. And they're one of the greatest top 20 transformational companies in history. You can look at that research. But they had to figure out a way to produce more revenue. And rather than go out of industry and create something new and spend a whole lot of money testing, etc., they realized, hang on a second, we've already got members. Let's create something for the members. And they created a wellness and wellbeing program, sold to the members, job done. Sounds so simple, doesn't it? But they were looking for solutions. That's what the climbers do. Climbers look for solutions. It's like, who's been in a rip here before? Yeah? Scared? Yeah, bloody oath. I thought I was going to die. But you know, you can get out of a rip. You can go across the rip and you can go back in. Surfers use them to go out and surf. Like, the rip isn't a bad thing. It's us in the rip. That's the thing that's not working. That's the problem. And we're not solution orientated when we're feeling like drowning. But I've been caught in many rips after. It's like, hey, everything will be fine. Who's done a Rubik's Cube before? Who started a Rubik's Cube and never finished it? Yes, everybody. It's in some box in your garage at your mum's house. Still half done. One click. Oh, that's still hard. But you see those guys go, done in 5 seconds. When you're in the solutions mode, anything can be done. That's what a climber does. So where do you need to climb more? Where do you need to explore more? Where do you need to say what's possible more in your game? And the last one is about adapting. Yep, about shifting. You ever seen an octopus in the wild? When it's threatened, what does it do? Camouflages itself so you can't see it. It adapts. It changes. We've got a new market coming up. Where do you need to adapt? Where do you need to change? What do you need to implement? What needs to be different? When we went on that base camp trip, it was interesting watching people dealing with the changes that they faced on a day-to-day basis. There were about 12 people. Day 4, one lady said, I've done the trip. I'm out of here. I'll walk back with the Sherpa. All right, okay, cool. 11 of us went on. A lady in the group called Joe, real estate agent. Day 7, she's struggling. Last to finish, starting to get really sore, breathing a bit tight. About day 11, she was just like hours behind every day. nah, gotta keep going. Nah, we're gonna one step from the other, one step from the other. The day that we were about to leave to go into base camp, someone yelled out, Jet, gotta get in here, Joe's in trouble. Basic complications of the chest. She was in a really bad way as far as her breathing. We had to get a helicopter, emergency helicopter, to come into this place, which is like hundreds of kilometers in the middle of nowhere in the Himalayas. Land, get her in the thing, take her to Kathmandu Hospital, and she spent 2 weeks there and recovered. But Joe's an interesting story. Joe's been to most of my masterclasses where I get my clients and I just put a day on for them. And we've been to Bali and Es Rock and a whole number of places. And I remember the first masterclass you come to at Es Rock. Who's been to Es Rock before? Been Kings Canyon? You walk up and you walk around. We went to go up Kings Canyon. She got half up the steps to go into Kings Canyon. She sat down just bawling her eyes out. Bawling her eyes out. I'm going to do this. I hate myself. I'm big. All this. I'm not going. So I calmed her down. She said she'll wait downstairs, down the bottom of the steps. And we went on for a couple of hours, came back, picked her up. Got back there. She said, Jet, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to do something different. And like most people that say that, I go, yeah, we'll see it when you do it. I'll see it, and that'll be great. It wasn't that encouraging. But she did the base camp thing, and she was the person that kept going all the way as far as she could until I think was dangerous, but it was her call. And she said, that's the best thing I've ever done, Jen. I just kept pushing through change. I stopped denying, I stopped resisting. I started to ask what was possible. I kept pushing through change. Now she's gone on, and I'm not encouraging this, but she's left the agency she was with and she started her own business. She's lost a massive amount of weight and she's living in this implementation, this adaptation phase, because she's taken ownership, flow, solution, and she's adapted. Let me wrap this up. Has this been helpful?
Yeah.
So, do you mind if I share personally? Is that all right? So I don't think I grew up, well, I didn't. I didn't grow up managing change effectively. It's a skill 57 years later that I'm still working on. Still getting it wrong, still sitting in the runner phase sometimes, still in the settler. But just trying my best to keep staying in that what's possible. My upbringing, I guess, was a whole range of dysfunction, which caused me to step away from change and not really embrace it as a young person or a teenager. Dad was an alcoholic, he was violent. My mum left when I was 6. And by the time I was 14, I'd already run away a number of times, sniffing glue and petrol and lighter fluid and thieving and stealing cars and doing all that petty crime stuff. I got to 14, I went, fuck this. I reckon I can do a better job looking after myself. So I left home, 14. I left school and off I went. But not armed with the tools to build a life of success, not armed with the knowledge and the resources to be able to manage change effectively. I was fucking angry. I was hurt and it was your fault. And so I just went on this self-destruction and rampage of making sure people knew how much in pain I was and how much of their fault it was that I was in that space and how much it was my dad's and my mum's and all that type of stuff. It didn't take long for that to unravel. I was 15, I was a heroin addict. I was living in a pub. It was a biker pub. I was carrying a sawed-off shotgun around doing armed hold-ups. My girlfriends were prostituting for my heroin. I was homeless eventually, bashing people in toilets for money to feed my habit, stealing televisions and stuff off my dad and antique guns that he had. I was just a piece of work that was a horrible, horrible human. You know what? I didn't care. And every time change presented itself, I just walked away from it. Just denied it. Didn't have a drug problem. Didn't have a violence problem. Didn't have a goal setting problem. You had the problem. It was your fault that I'm like this, so you suffer because I'm like this. You know, there are moments in people's lives that are really defining, and I'm sure if I talk to you, you'd have some amazing times in your life where there were those moments where you you sort of intuitively knew what to do and you did it. It might have been a tragedy, it might have been something really, really tough. And you got through it. And I had that sort of moment when I was 17. You got to imagine from the time I left home at 14, every day was a drug-induced, drug-fueled, out of control day. If I didn't have drugs, I'd be trying to get drugs. If I couldn't get drugs, I'd be breaking the law to get the drugs. I'd be making my women work for the drugs. That was a 3-year cycle until I was in 17 and a half in this old squatting building we used to sleep in. A couple of mates, my girlfriend at the time came over to pick me up. She was from a really great family. She'd see me outside of pubs in the area, covered in vomit and just totally destitute. She picked me up. The funny thing was I went to primary school with her. The other funny thing was when I was in primary school, I had a crush on her. The funny thing was her boyfriend in primary school found out I had a crush and he bashed me at the primary school. So this is the same girl that I had a childhood crush on. Now at 17, I sort of somehow collided with again. She was at university from a really well-to-do family. I was a gutter snob, wreck of my life. But she reached out. We hit it off again. Anyway, she came to pick me up and said, let's get some heroin. It wasn't unusual for us to do that. So we got it. We went, I was staying at her house on and off with her mum. Went into the house, got some spoons and utensils, said hello to the mother. Went down the road to a park because the street she was in at that time was a street that I actually grew up in. There's irony everywhere in this story. And the park at the end of the street that I grew up in, that she was living in, that I was staying in at random times, was the park that I grew up playing soccer on. It was the park that gave me hope and belief in myself because that was the only time I felt like I was worth something. And it was in this park that we sat in a toilet cubicle and shut up heroin. And what happened next, I wasn't ready. Apparently I was unconscious for 10 hours. It was the middle of winter in Sydney, August 17th, 1984. I was unconscious for 10 hours. The ambulance put me in intensive care. My kidneys had failed. I was dying. I was handcuffed to the bed, surrounded by police. I was being charged with manslaughter of my girlfriend. She died next to me that night. Now, I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. I didn't get a chance to say sorry. I didn't get a chance to hold her again. I'm thinking about it. I just feel so disgustingly bad for a moment. But a little turn left could have been so different. I was stuck. I couldn't get out almost. Spent 2 weeks intensive care. I put in Long Bay prison. That was an event in itself. Nearly got killed in there. Seems her father was an underworld person and word got out about what had happened and it was my fault and now I was a target inside. I dealt with that for a couple of months before I got $10,000 bail. A lady actually used to see me on the street in the area that I grew up, used to invite me over, come over for a cup of tea, Jet. I couldn't put 2 words together. She heard what happened and she came into the hospital and sat there 24 hours a day by my side and just shared love, love, love. It'll be all right. We'll get you through. This will be okay. She found some people to put $10,000 together, got me out on bail. I went to court 2 years later in front of a jury for 5 days. They didn't wait. Got found not guilty minutes later. I started again as a 20-year-old. Not on drugs, not on alcohol, clean as, but I was still hurting. I was still blaming you. I was still on a rampage inside my soul that I hadn't let go of. I was still stuck. It was everyone else's fault, not mine. And I was resistant to change. I spent 18 years like that, just wandering around in denial and resistance. I thought, I'll get married, that'll fix it. Anyone tried that? Doesn't work. for the wrong reason. I thought I have kids, that'll save me. I've got 2 beautiful kids, but it didn't save me. I didn't have any goals. I didn't want to do anything with my life. I didn't feel like I could. I didn't have any work. 18 years I spent like that, just going around in circles, shit jobs here and there, doing nothing, going nowhere, no hope, nothing. All self-inflicted because I was stuck. Then I thought, I'm going to go back to King's Cross and try and help some kids who are like me. So for 4 years, I went back into King's Cross. Saw kids like me, it was too close to the bone. I was finding dead kids every day, and it was just like too much. So you pay $12 an hour. I thought, I can't do this. But one thing started to happen. I started to shift. Because I was around people now who were doing PhDs, who were changing the world, who were helping other people, who talked differently, who were studying, who were into personal development. They told me about a guy called Tony Robbins. Like I never heard any of that. I didn't listen to tapes, I didn't read books, nothing. Close down, shut, deny, resist, fuck off, get out of my face. Still angry, violent, and didn't care. I thought, I can't do this $12 an hour with kids, and so how can I make some more money? So I was going to the gym at the time, and I found out that aerobics instructors made $40 an hour to do this. Easy walk. I thought, this is gold. I'm going to wear tight bike shorts and a singlet full of women, and I just do the grapevine. I'm in. Sign me up. Sign me up. So I become an aerobics instructor. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. And from there, I found out personal trainers made $80 an hour, and all they did was go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do it backwards. 3. That was it. That's all they did. They counted $80 an hour. I could do that. Had a bit of trouble getting it backwards, but I got it after a while. So now I'm a personal trainer, and I'm like, my world is just about to get shattered again. Because now I'm training business people who are running multi-million-dollar companies, talking about the success and talking about goal setting and talking about getting somewhere and doing something with their life and making a difference and serving and humility and all this stuff I hadn't heard of. Now I was getting people who challenged me about the bullshit I was telling myself. I was surrounding myself with influence. And after a while, I started to read. I went to Tony Robbins. I became a vegetarian. I went to university. I did a year in psychology and sociology and got high distinctions in everything that I studied. I'm just a dumb kid from the suburbs who left home at school at 14. But I was doing that at uni. I thought, this is a waste of my time. I'm too smart for this. I'm out. And off I went. Personal training. I thought, I'm going to get into life coaching. I became a life coach, but I couldn't handle people crying all the time. So I got out of that. My life coach was paying $150 an hour. And then after a while, building relationships with a Hell's Angel chapter president and a bank CEO and learning both their skill sets around life and getting ahead in life, I started to sell my services to the business owners that I was training. They started talking about their teams. Oh, fucking Johnny isn't pulling his weight and the culture is bad. I'm thinking, culture, I can do. Oh, you know, I do a culture program. Do you? Yeah, sure. I've been doing it for ages. Yeah. So I just bullshitted my way into like 5 major companies running team building, leadership development, culture creation. Do you know what happened? I said goodbye to this. Yeah. And I started living here. I started to just go, what's possible? How good is this? How long has this been? Now I'm making $1,200 an hour talking to a big company. It's like, what's going on? I become alive again. I let go of all the blame and I let go of all the hurt. And it's not my dad's fault. It's not your fault. It's my fault. What's possible? I'm not useless. I'm not worse. What's possible? What do I? Yeah, I can do what I want with my life. What do I want to do? What's possible? Yeah, that's a struggle. That's hard. That's difficult. That's got to change. But what's possible? And then 10 years ago, after about 5 or 6 years in that corporate sort of space, working with different companies, doing different sorts of stuff that I talked my way into, I learned skills. I got better. I got smarter. I made a contribution. I started to see a difference in people's lives. I thought, man, I've got to get into some industry where I can do that full time. And here I am. Spent 6 months in my ex-girlfriend's lounge room at a little desk, ringing up people like Dave, going, hey, I'm Xavier, real estate coach, Australian real estate coach. Yeah, I haven't heard of you. Yeah, I know. I'm doing. I remember, you know, Dave Highland from. Yeah. So I rang Dave on because I live in Cronulla. Dave's got a phenomenal business now. And I said, mate, Xavier, real estate coach for Australia. I just got a question for you. What does your sales team struggle with? And he goes, bit of a pause. He goes, mate, our sales team doesn't struggle. Yeah, Dave, okay, yeah, good stuff.
Humility.
Yeah, humility. It's funny just about Dave, just a side story because it is funny. I did a big conference thing for him and his team, Kickstart. He gave me a brief about what he wanted. I've rocked in there at the start of my wellness and wellbeing journey. So I'm all wellness and wellbeing, yeah? I'm like, wellness, wellbeing. You have to hear wellness and wellbeing. Dave's given me a brief, but I'm going to tell you about wellness and wellbeing. There's a video through the presentation. I'm halfway down the hall. We're watching the video. It goes for about 5 minutes. Dave goes, walk outside. He's come over here. And Dave and I partied in the early days, so we knew each other as a good mate. He goes, what the fuck is this? What do you mean? It's wellness and wellbeing, mate. This is the future. Everyone needs to hear this. He goes, this is fucking shit, mate. It's supposed to be a kickstart. Excite them. Motivate them. Get them jumping out of their seats. They all want to kill themselves in there. So anyway, so that's how this career started. But Dave was he's part of my staff because I invited him to a motivational event and he came along and we've been good friends ever since. But I just saw what was possible in you, what's possible in me, what's possible in our world. And I just went for it and I'm still going for it. And the last 10 years has been a blessing. I'm humbled to come and talk to people like yourself because I'm you, you're me. We're all in this together, yeah? We're all going through whatever it is we're going through. We all need a hand. We all need to understand where we're sitting and, you know, the stories and all the stuff we're telling ourselves. But if I can leave you with anything as I wrap this up. Good job. Alan Watts says this, which I really love. I think it's the best way to end today. The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. I think if you can understand that change is a dance, and it's something that wants to, you know, embrace you. It's something that wants to come close. It's something that wants to carry you sometimes. Something that wants to teach you, love you, help you, all those types of things. I think the success that you want in your life or whatever area it is going to become possible. So thanks, Dave, for having me. Yeah.
We've done some pretty amazing sessions like this in the past. It brings up a lot of stuff for people. So I just want to cover off on that. Some of our biggest sit days have been after something like this. All right. Generally, if you're doing a session like this with someone, it's a one-on-one and some of this can be a challenge. So you'd actually sit down and say, well, Lee, what'd you get out of that? And there could be some nurturing and some care around that. Obviously, in a group situation, Jet's not going to go around to everyone and find out what was your journey or what that brought up in you. All right. But what I want to let you know is you do have a support structure. So I don't know what's going on in everyone's lives, but if there's stuff that gets brought up today, you know, especially Lee and I really will equip. There are other people on the team, but especially Lee and I, come up to us if there's something brought up today that's something that you really want to discuss, whether it's us or other people, there'll be people to help you. So if there's something that really brought up inside you today, know that we've got your back and there's people who listen and care for you. All right. But
any questions?
Yeah. Pretty bloody good, eh? Yeah. Pretty bloody good.
Can I just say how amazing it is and how wonderful it is to find someone like yourself that has come out of a black hole.
Thank you.
Get to know each other, and I still got a bit of party in me, so I just want one party with a back to one night. Probably can't happen, but that's my wish. At Highland to come along. Yeah. But anyway, once again, guys, big round of applause, guys.
Dave, have you put through the organisation?
You know what? It's one thing I've taken photos of and haven't talked about it. So yeah, in the past, we need to talk about it.
So can you guys just grab your phone, please? So this is the only app for the real estate industry, one of the only in the world. Part of the RISE initiative, if you're interested, riseconference.com.au. But I'd love you to download that now. It's free. It's for you, your team, your family. It's just got a lot of good tools that you can go to straight away if you're flat. unmotivated, a bit stressed, even want a budget. Some funny. There's a whole lot of stuff. But download it and explore. Have a look at what works for you. But definitely use it. The other thing is, as part of, everyone got it, the Real Care app? Yep, perfect. As part of the mental health journey that I'm on, I got a book that helps funds mental health events that I put on in particular. It's 12 stories of people in our industry, some of who you would know that you look up to and think, oh my God, I never knew that about them. They're talking about their stories of how they've been in a certain position, despite maybe being the top agent in Australia, and how they got out of that situation. So if you go to jetxavier.com.au, no, that's wrong. If you go to championscry2, TOO.com.au, you can grab that book. What we encourage people to do is support mental health through getting it, read it, and then pass it on to someone and just keep paying it forward. So there's that as well. Also, if you've got any questions or you want to chat about anything that we talked about, jet@jetxavier.com. Feel free to reach out at any time. Hit me up on Insta as well. Love to stay in touch. Jet Xavier is my tag. I put stuff out there every day, and you've been a great source of energy today, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.